like you scratched.
I call it Robinson Family Farm and Ranch because I want it to represent the whole cycle of life. And I want that rotation to go, but it's just, I don't know if I can manage chemical-free the 4 acres and still take care of all the animals, and it's hard to find help. I don't really like being an employer. I want partners more than I do, people that are involved ownership-wise, but not many people want to work that hard. It's a tough living for sure. I want to grow the CSA side of it because that attracts people to the farm. I just want to eventually the Star Valley Agricultural Center type thing where we can expand what we do and just focus on smaller quantities and better quality, and just improve that as we go. It's an experiment, one just big giant evolutional experiment.
I know.
But it's fun. Good lifestyle.
Welcome back to beautiful Bedford, Wyoming and Robinson Family Farms Ranch. We have a fantastic lineup today with stuff. We actually just picked this cabbage about 20 minutes ago, so it's still warm from the sun and kind of a little storm coming in, a little spooky out there, so bear with us with a little wind and whatnot. It's gonna get rowdy, gonna get western out there for all you folks. We got 2 dishes today. We're gonna do a coal roasted green cabbage, and then we're also gonna do a grilled corn and grilled broccoli and cauliflower. We're gonna coal roast some potatoes. So this kind of brings me back to some of my first food memories with my father, camping with my father. He would make these little campfire meals, foil dinners he'd call them, and with onions and beef and carrots and celery. So this is kind of a nostalgic flavor for me. With the potatoes, we're gonna take some of this Robinson family garlic here, a whole head of garlic, and we're gonna put that at the base here. Actually, you know what? We're gonna go in with a tomato first. I wanna cut them about 1/2 inch pieces, just kind of loose in there. And then we're gonna start out with our onion too. And I'm gonna go big pieces, and all these things are not just going to protect the potato, but they're also gonna enhance the flavor. Just separate the garlic a little bit there. And then what we're gonna do is add a little bit of the Pine Ridge, Chenin Blanc, Viognier, just right up on top. Not a lot, just to give it a little bit of moisture. This is also going to add a little bit of acidity. And then we're going to go right on top with the potatoes. Then we're going to blast it with a little bit of olive oil here too. Good amount, because what's going to happen in the bottom of that is going to create a sauce for this dish. We're going to hit it with some salt. Potatoes like quite a bit of salt. Some of it will fall off, so don't be afraid by adding a little bit. A little pepper to taste. We're gonna tighten them up, kind of let them spread out so they cook nice and even. We'll set that guy aside here. Now we're gonna move into our cabbage. So excited about this dish. Some people think cabbage is boring, and sometimes it can be, but not this dish. We're gonna get a little grapeseed oil. You wanna use a high heat oil for this because the coals are obviously very, very warm. We're gonna go a little bit on the bottom. Place the cabbage up there. We're gonna pour it over the top. And kind of roll that around. You're gonna season it pretty heavy on the outside because the inner leaves aren't gonna catch much salt. And you can do this at home with a regular oven, but you're not gonna get the smoky, charred flavor of a good hard wood. So if you don't have one, maybe you should invest in a little Weber. 50 bucks is all. I'm gonna put him stem side down here and just tightly wrap that guy. And you wanna keep the top with a little vent, and also so the juice doesn't run out of the cabbage. So now we got our 2 things prepped, and we're gonna go over to the Hasty-Bake here and drop those things in. And like I said, if you don't have a charcoal grill, you can throw that in the oven, 450 degrees. So you can hear those things down in there sizzling already. So what we're gonna do is just put these babies to bed for a minute. But now we're gonna get into the vinaigrette for our cabbage. So we're gonna go with the ginger to start. Just gonna smash that down a little bit. I want this whole thing to be rustic and big because, you know, it's a whole cabbage that we're doing here. Big chunks of spicy ginger in there. And we're gonna go in with our Fresno chili. Seed that guy out. You can leave the seeds in there if you like. Little rough chop on the chili. Then we're gonna go in with the garlic. We'll smash. Little chop. In we go. Half a shallot. So rough cut on the shallot as well, and then we're gonna do a whole lime in here. That acidity from the lime is gonna macerate those and soften the shallot and garlic and ginger a little bit. Rice wine vinegar, seasoned. You could do it non-seasoned. Seasoned just means a little bit of sugar in there, just to put a little sweetness in this. And then a tiny bit, I'm gonna use the cap so I don't wipe out and add too much. So we got half a teaspoon in there. You can do more if you like, but this stuff goes a long way. Now we're gonna add our fish sauce. About 2 tablespoons. Beautiful sriracha, love this stuff. Got a tablespoon there. We're gonna add a little bit of soy here. Just a tablespoon. And then for our secret ingredients, a little bit of coconut milk here. That's gonna add a really nice richness to it. And then for the real secret, we're gonna do some organic, crunchy peanut butter. And this is just gonna thicken this vinaigrette, give it a really nice viscosity and make it stick to the grilled cabbage. So that was about 3 tablespoons there. Don't wanna waste any. No, I can't talk. You can see how that peanut butter really gives it a little body. Then we're gonna whisk in a little bit of our grapeseed oil. You don't want too much of this. It's not gonna emulsify and really thicken it. You just want just a little bit of richness to it. That's probably about 3 tablespoons. Now we're gonna taste it first before we add any salt, because a lot of these products like the soy and the fish sauce carry quite a bit of salt to them. Plenty of salt. But we will add some pepper. So we're done with the vinaigrette. We're gonna get in there and check the cabbage. It's been in there for about 25 minutes or so. Oh, it smells done and delicious. Let's pick that little sucker up. So if you wanna check this dish, it's super easy to do. You just take your knife and just give it a little stab in there. If you don't get a bunch of resistance, you're done. Holy cow, look at that. I mean, just dripping. Whew. And it's hot, really hot. So what we also have in the share this week is some basil and some cilantro. And what I'm gonna do is a really rough cut and also these green onions. So I'm gonna put them all together. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this cabbage now in half. And then we're gonna go in thirds with this guy. Stem and all, I love the stem inside. We're actually gonna quarter each half. Just gonna arrange it nicely here. Bright, spicy, rich vinaigrette. And let it seep down into those cabbage leaves there. A little bit around the sides and on the stems. I mean, this cabbage will really eat up this vinaigrette. Now we're gonna drape our gorgeous, fragrant herbs on there. Chuck them all on there, get in there. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our crushed peanuts on here. What we also have too is some of these chili threads. And this is just gonna add that nice color, a little bit of texture, crunch, spice. Last week or the week before we did some basil oil, but this week I took a little bit of mint and did the same process and we made a mint oil. And this is just gonna finish this dish, give it a really floral, gorgeous flavor to finish. Bit of color there, which is, there's nothing wrong with a little color. So here's our final dish. We have a Robinson Family Farms coal roasted green cabbage, finished with fresh herbs, cilantro, basil, some chili threads, crushed peanuts, and a Thai style vinaigrette. So this dish is going to consist of some grilled broccoli and cauliflower, some corn that Marion's niece grew down in Utah, and then make a little black garlic vinaigrette. Black garlic is a garlic that just starts out as a regular garlic. It's heated very gently and slow. This stuff is just almost fermented. And here's the clove there. It tastes like molasses, garlicky molasses, real sweet. So we're gonna make a vinaigrette with this. I can hear the potatoes in there sizzling. We're gonna check on those. Woo! I think they're done. Perfectly cooked. I mean, you can see this, watch this. Just smashed, creamy, beautiful potatoes. There's the clove of the garlic that just came out of the shell. And you can see it's just translucent, falling apart. We're gonna, before I freak out, we're gonna set these aside, because I'm telling you, you do this on the grill and you're gonna freak out too. And so we're gonna get into these vegetables here. We got the corn. So what I usually like to do is take them and break them in half. I do it with my finger like Arnold. So just give it a little spin. And then I'm gonna just toss it so the oil gets down on all parts here. Go in with a little bit of salt. We've got a nice bed of coals down here. We're just gonna lay the corn right up on top of those coals. And you're gonna hear some popping and locking here. And when cooking cauliflower and broccoli that's fresh from the farm, I don't like to take a lot of the stem off, because the stem is absolutely delicious, nutritious, and just good to eat. Into the bowl we go. And the big thing with the broccoli is just getting enough face time where it's flat, so you get the grilling surface. You want to pick up some of that dark caramelization from the coals. Bit of olive oil and salt and pepper again. And a lot of this stuff, the vegetable cooking that I love to do, is really quite simple. 3 ingredients: olive oil, salt, and pepper. See, now that's what you're looking for right there. Just a little bit of darkness on there, a little bit of blacken. That's perfect. We're gonna get into our vinaigrette here, our black garlic vinaigrette. I'm gonna cut these scallions, and we're gonna use that as our shallot or our onion, because I do like in a vinaigrette to have a little bite of onion. So with our black garlic here, and this stuff is mellow, really mellow. 7 cloves of black garlic here. And I'm just gonna go not super, super thin. What I like to see in this dish is a bit of that color contrast, and for you to be able to pick up some of the garlic with a fork and be able to eat that. Now we're gonna go on with our cauliflower and broccoli. I'm gonna take a lemon, and I want some of the zest, because I want this to be a big, spicy, flavorful dish. So we're gonna zest it, and then we're also going to juice it. I'm only going in half. Now a little salt and pepper. Now we're gonna go in with a little bit of olive oil here, because the next thing we're gonna go into this dish with, tomatoes. As soon as we put those in there, they're gonna start macerating with the oil and salt and lemon juice. And I want this to be a part of the dish, not just a vinaigrette. So now we also have a little bit of basil left over, if I don't get blown away by the wind here. Whoop, gone. Better be careful. Get in there. So now we're gonna check on our broccoli again here. I think we're about there. You want a little bite to it. You know, you don't want a totally crushed, well cooked. You want to be able to really taste it. So I'm going to take these little guys, fresh mozzarella balls, and just cut them in half. You could do this with feta too if you'd like. Be another good cheese in there. That's enough of that. There's a stampede. So now our cauliflower and our broccoli is done. I'm gonna put it back in the bowl so we can kind of keep it aside, keep it warm. But first, we're gonna pull up our beautiful Le Creuset. This is a braiser. You can make this the day before, put it in your fridge, pull it out of the fridge, let it sit room temp for about half an hour, fire it into the oven, and you're ready to go for an awesome dinner that's super easy, ready to go. We're gonna start cutting this off the bone. And when you're cutting corn, you wanna obviously have a sharp knife. You don't want to get into that cob. Just cut the kernels off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the warm potatoes. on top of this. We're gonna go all in. And the onions and the garlic I'm gonna squeeze out. Now we're gonna give that a nice mix. Take our broccoli and cauliflower and give that kind of a rough little chop here. Go all in. I told you it's gonna get rowdy out here. It's starting to rain, so we're gonna finish this dish up. And just for an added bonus, I'm gonna take these green onions and just give them a little touch on the grill, just to give that depth of flavor. Now we're gonna put the black garlic vinaigrette right over the top, lightly kissed by the coals, these green onions. This is just gonna add a nice, just bit of flavor right at the end. We're gonna finish this dish off with a whack ton of fresh chopped parsley, some scallions, a little bit of chive, and also, last but not least, some freshly roasted pine nuts. Totally optional as well, but this is gonna give you the vegetables. It's just this really nice roasted flavor. A little bit of olive oil. And there we have it, perfectly roasted corn, grilled broccoli, cauliflower, tomato, black garlic vinaigrette, little mozzarella, fresh herbs to finish. Cows are moving out. It's a wrap for this week. I don't know where they're going, maybe for shelter, but I think we are too. So thanks for joining us, Robinson Family Farms and Ranch. Thank those guys so much for all they do, and we'll see you next week. Hey, look at that little fella. Hey! Wonder if he likes broccoli. No? Fine.